And more. Your chance to win is waiting. Enter now at KFAN.com, keyword contest.
You know, Tana, Meat Sauce once asked the question, have you ever gone to Target for athletic socks and come home with Home Alone 2 on Blu-ray DVD? I once went to Target to get athletic socks and came home with an elevated scrotum. It's a true story. That's what my hernia surgeon told me to do, is elevate my scrotum. And I did. He did. That's a true story. And I did. Have you thought about elevating your knee with athletic socks? How is your knee, by the way?
I do. I elevate my knee all day long, all night, right. Pretty much. Yeah. I know. It's
just a slow
all
process.
Night long.
All night long.
Tana thinks it's just a walk in the park to get your knee replaced. It's not knee surgery. It's knee replacement. They literally cut your
Everybody
knee open.
makes fun of you.
Yes,
like,
your knee should be good then.
What's that?
You got to replace it. You should have a brand new knee in there. You should be ready to go.
I'm ready to go. As long as you're picking me up at the fair on Thursday and giving me a ride to the booth.
Huh?
Are you going to get a ride to the booth?
I have no idea. No one's. I asked. Otherwise, I'm not sure. It's going to take me about an hour to get there.
Leave an hour earlier.
Well, no. I mean, I will. It's still going to take a while.
They've got benches you can rest on the way.
I understand that. I plan on doing that. Yeah, I'll get there. I mean, it's fine. I had a great PT session today over TCO and Edina. My guy, Paul, who's the best there is. And, just keep strengthening the quad. And it's all, it's just, when you're living it, like Paul said, when you're living it 24 hours a day, you feel it a little bit more. Yeah. Obviously, every move, every time you take go on a decline or you're in
If the Tenebys and the meat sauces and the rest make fun of you.
Well, I mean, they don't know any better.
No, they don't know any better.
You know what's going to happen when their scrotum's elevated or when they have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Age is a interesting thing, but this was more, again, bone on
Teneby
bone.
can't have a scoop of ice cream at noon if he has a hockey game.
I know.
Or his tummy hurts.
It's just,
you had your knee replaced.
Sometimes the people I work with here, it boggles my mind.
Me too.
Some of the quirkiness that they have about food and customs. It's like, what are you, 12?
Yeah.
I mean,
Timmy, are you 12?
I mean, it's just like, I can't have my peas.
I'm 12, but I feel like I'm 6.
I can't have my peas touch the macaroni.
Oh.
It's like, what are you want your Casey Jones lunchbox laid out for you with your applesauce?
Keep ripping.
Come on, grow
up, Teneby.
Oh, my God.
Meat sauce grow up, too.
All these guys, they're just... Anyway, I got that off my chest.
Yeah, you needed to get it off your chest.
I really did. All's good, my man. All's good.
What do you think of that Viking club? They look pretty sharp. I think they're ready for the regular season.
Listen, we've had this discussion. I said to you, 3 weeks ago, I said, just remember one thing as we embark on this preseason journey. No one ever remembers the result of a preseason game. You might remember an individual performance here and there, but not many that stand out that you go, hey, that's what catapulted player A to making the roster and becoming a really good player in the NFL. The answer to that is no. It doesn't happen very often. And so this is going to be characterized again as they go through the motions of having to play this game in Denver on Friday night. It's been my big, and I was obviously at the game on Saturday, and I know, listen, there are a lot of kids that were there, a lot of people were there, never had a chance to see, the Vikings play in person, and unfortunately they're exposed to that product. It was one of the most boring football games I've ever seen. I mean, from every standpoint. I mean, I've said they should have running time, and it isn't even so much that.
Well, what kind of excitement were you looking for?
Well, I mean,
they're trying to work on things.
Well, they're not trying to work on. They're just going. They're not really working on anything. I mean, nothing that's going to carry over.
I heard Don take you to task on the end of the show, on Vikings game day. You were talking about it was a meaningless game, and she said, well, it's not for the kids. Then you backpedaled a little bit. The kids don't know. The kids love these games.
The kids that are at the game are the kids that are trying for the team.
The kids that are around.
I totally agree with her. And I 100% agree. That's why I said I'm not going to throw cold water. I mean, I saw a lot of kids, and they're they're not judging what they're seeing. They're happy to be at
seemed
US
like you were throwing cold water.
No,
Sure seemed like it.
I blame the NFL is the one that they're the ones that charge the kind of ridiculous ticket prices for these games, these exhibitions, and that's what they are. They changed the description to preseason. It's an exhibition game. To me, it's the equivalent of going to spring training and watching a bunch of guys who have number 72 in the back of their uniforms playing a spring training game representing the Twins and the Yankees or whatever the case may be. None of these guys are going to be on the Major League roster, and they're just getting experience. And I think right now, I mean, if some of these players are going to go on Friday night, are going to have the opportunity to showcase their abilities for other teams with cutdown day on Sunday, so be it. Wish them all the luck in the world. Of course, it's important to them. If you ever watch Hard Knocks, you understand that, they're poring over the playbook. They're desperately trying to find a way to stay on this roster. That's all real stuff. But I think by now, Nolan Teasley and KOC and the rest of the coaching staff and Scott, they pretty much have locked in their 53-man roster.
You think?
Yes. I don't think there might be a job, maybe a job or two that's still kind of out there, but what will that player have to do on Friday night as opposed to doing what they're doing in practice or what we saw last week during the joint practices with Baltimore, which were more important than the actual preseason game the other night, to convince them that, we better put you on the practice squad. And that may happen. I mean, that very well may be the case when they have those final discussions on Saturday. But for the most part, the roster's, pretty well set. And that's okay. That, and you go through the motions. The best thing about Friday night is going to be when the game is over, and hopefully everyone will stay healthy. That's part of this team. Obviously none of the starters are going to play. I mean, but you're going to have some backups that are important. And you want those guys to stay healthy if they're going to be part of this team and even for their careers going forward. But I mean, I'm not going to get caught up in, like I said, no one remembers the outcome of these games. As soon as this game is over, everyone's going to be turning their attention to the roster and more importantly to, getting ready for the Packer game on September 13th. None of this other stuff it'll be in so far in your rearview mirror.
I guess what you're basically saying is next year, if the Vikings have 2 home games, don't even buy a ticket and don't go.
Oh, you have to go because it's part of the season ticket package.
Well, you don't have to go.
Well, you have to buy them. I mean, if it's your season ticket package, those tickets are included in your season ticket package. And they had a pretty good crowd, and then a lot of people left in third quarter. It was a beautiful day, obviously, on Saturday, and a lot of people left by halftime. I still thought there was a very good crowd there. I'm not knocking the people for going. They get the tickets, and it's part of their season ticket package for the most part. So, they want to go or give the tickets to somebody, like you said, a family of the kid that never had the chance to go. That's great. I'm not going to knock that. But I'm just saying from a standpoint of how are the Vikings looking? Well, I think we saw a lot more during the joint practices.
Do you really? See, I don't know if I believe that.
I think we saw some. We saw some of the ability. Again, you can't tackle the quarterback.
Right.
You're not going to, when Jefferson made a couple catches or whomever, you're not going to lay him out. So there's only so much you can gain out of it. And that's where you had that whole discussion about, well, are these teams really, all of a sudden you go from 0 to 100 because you're not only expected to, you're going to play on the opening day, you got to play for 60 minutes. And, whatever the case may be, You're going to play a full game. And that's where, sometimes you see some ragged play early on, but, everything's geared towards that. They're game planning right now for Green Bay. They're not game planning for Denver. And, it's all good.
This one says, what I'm hearing is Rosen hates kids. What, does he kick puppies too with his one good leg?
I love puppies. I love Millie over at Talk North Sports. Millie's my doggie.
Then I'm going to read this one. You tell me who you think wrote this.
Oh, I already know.
Did Fox 9 make a new hype video for the Vikings pregame show that shows Rosen walking up steps with a cane?
No, they should have. No,
okay, Larry Mondello guy.
Yeah, I know. No, we did shoot our hype, if you want to call it that, our hype video on Saturday with
nothing can match what they did the first time.
No, that was pretty dramatic. No, this is just pretty standard fare, just promoting the show and getting ready for that for the rest of the season. I have fun doing that. It's always
I saw at the end of the show, and you're the traffic cop. I thought it was totally out of control. Ron Johnson rambling.
Oh, Ron likes to talk.
You trying to,
rail him in?
Yeah, rein him in. It was a controversial show.
I don't know how controversial it was.
He's the Terry Bradshaw of that show, isn't he?
In what context?
Well, it's kind of the loose cannon.
Oh, yeah. He's always either quoting a movie or he brings up, hey, I just got a text from PJ Fleck. Wait, what are you talking about? Why are we mentioning this? It's fun. He is a loose cannon.
He's a loose cannon, but he is entertaining.
He's entertaining, and he's very knowledgeable, too. He knows his stuff. I mean, when you talk to him about certain, he gets pretty, X's and O's, and that's okay. Once the regular season starts at home, then we add, Lieber and Bursic, and, we got plenty of football experts up there to kind of dissect what's going on. So it's fun, and people enjoy it, I think. So.
Now, I saw that in the on the TV coverage that Lieber was up in the booth, but he tells me that's not permanent.
No. Because
for the simulcast.
The simulcast.
I thought maybe he got elevated to the third man in the booth thing, but he's still.
No, he'll be sideline guy.
Force him down on the sideline.
Yeah. He's got a pretty good vantage point down there and kind of his own perspective.
During the preseason, it's a simulcast, so television and radio have the same broadcast, and then they have Tatum down there. But for the radio broadcast, once the regular season starts,
same thing.
Ben will be on the sideline.
Banished to the sidelines instead of the booth. It's being banished to the sidelines.
Well, there's only room for two voices up there.
It's like Caesar up in the suite. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. It's PA and Bursic up and then down in the arena.
Yeah.
That's where Lieber is.
Where the gladiators are.
Yeah, that's where Lieber is.
Yeah, he's doing
It's really sad. I don't think they give Lieber enough respect. Guy's a TV star in town.
Well, I think he gets treated just fine. I don't think he's complaining about his role on the broadcast. Okay. No, he's got plenty on his plate. The young man's pretty busy. So
looks like he's exercising a lot, according to his commercials.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Is he working out with the Fitness King too? Or?
No, he works out on his own. I think or has somewhere where he goes. I don't think he's Ben's doing just fine with his workouts. He's still a young man. He's got a ways to go.
Yeah, he does indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't mean to be. I guess I do. I mean,
you do.
I'm so. When you sit there and these games are just, you look for little bright spots. Think, well, early on, we got a chance to see Dominique Orange. We got a chance to see Caleb Banks out there a little bit. You got your eyes on them. Obviously, there was a great deal of concentration on what was happening with McCarthy. So it didn't matter second string out there, third string out there. When you go back to pass and you're sitting back in the pocket and Miles Price is wide open in the end zone, and you throw a Nolan Ryan fastball over his head. That's as glaring as it gets when you're looking for. That has nothing to do with backups. That has nothing to do with, the situation in the game. You have to connect. You just throw a pass. You're just playing catch with somebody in your backyard, and and he had one right before that as well, and that was the telling aspect of his performance
last year.
Stuck with him on Saturday.
Last year, you were insisting that the Vikings should play McCarthy so we can see what we have. Have you seen enough now? Where do you think? I mean, technically he's the second string quarterback. I think if they played this weekend, if the Green Bay game was this Sunday, and Murray went out with an injury, I think they put Wentz in. I
said after the game in my little bit I do with Muss for a couple of minutes, I said that as far as I'm concerned, Carson Wentz is the backup. I don't. Just again, not just watching him out there because the game itself was a slop fest, but you could see his awareness, and that's something that you can't teach. I mean, you have to, the great quarterbacks obviously feel the rush, they feel things happening. Now, it's not going to prevent you from getting sacked, X number of times, but getting rid of the ball or making just the right decision under the circumstances. Carson obviously has that in spades, and I think right now I don't know how you can go with JJ as the backup. And the other discussion is, we're talking about the backup. I don't think in Detroit they're having any discussions about, oh man, who's the backup quarterback? I don't even know who the backup quarterback is in Detroit. Chicago's got a couple good ones, but it seems like we're the only ones.
Josh Dobbs now, isn't it?
Dobbs is the guy. Yeah,
astronaut we call him.
Well, if you have to get to that point, your team's in trouble anyway. So I don't know why we have to spend that much time talking about the backup quarterback.
Here's a text message as we go to break. It says, regarding the three people in the booth, he says it's a safety issue in the booth. Once PA and Bursich take up most of the oxygen with their meaningless comments, there's little air left for Lieber to breathe.
Oh.
I think that does have that only makes sense.
Negative.
Now I understand.
A lot of hot air in that room.
Well,
I know
there
that.
is, and so now that makes sense. That makes sense why they have Lieber on the sideline. It makes perfect sense to me. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more to get to with Common Man Tenneby and Mark Rosen right here on the Fan.
He's the pride of St. Louis Park.
Taking a few minutes. Alec Lewis is hosting today. He's in for Barrero. And we started talking about you. He was ripping you, and then I was sticking up for you, and then I started ripping you.
He wasn't ripping me. Alex too nice a kid to rip.
Boy, you weren't there. I heard it.
What was he ripping me about?
I can't say. And then I stuck up for you,
that's what
and
I'm
then
saying.
I started
You're
ripping
just making
you.
stuff up.
And then because he was having so much fun ripping you.
Alec, you up there?
He was.
No, he's not there. He's left.
He's on a phone call. He's an insider.
He is.
He's on a phone call right now. He's insiding right now. Is what he's doing.
Plenty of that going on.
Your Twins, they got an Oswald on the schedule to get the Athletics. Well, that's good. I mean, they took it to him last night.
Great. Sort of. I went to bed when they were up. I think it was 9-1. And
have you ever met a guy that's more negative toward local sports? Hates the preseason games. Basically, just
negative towards coworkers' taste in food.
Yeah, and then when it comes to
negativity, not tasting food, just
the
quirkiness of it.
He guffawed at the Twins beating the Athletics.
Yeah. I mean, did you watch the San Diego series at all when you play a real baseball team?
Well, they played a real baseball team in the Atlanta Braves, and they swept them.
Yeah, that's right. And then they turn right around after getting swept by Philadelphia.
They're a little inconsistent.
This is who they are, and that's fine. I mean, they're not going to get any better this year. They're going to hopefully be close to 500. I watch more of their games now than I ever imagined because I like the individual players for the most part on the team. And I mean, I like watching. I'm a Keishel guy. I like watching him play almost as much as Bobby Witt. And Brooks Lee's having a fun year, and the kid Culpepper's starting to warm up. The bat's warming up. He's still got a lot of work to do in the field, but he's enjoyable to watch. The pitching staff is constantly a work in progress. I don't know when Joe Ryan's coming back, but that would be nice given the fact that you're going to have a September that's still going to be meaningful baseball, despite the fact that they got swept by the Padres. They're still like 2 games out of the wild card, and they should beat up on the Oswald. They should beat up on the Athletics playing it. If you always forget, I turned the game on and I say, where are they? Oh, that's right. They're in Sacramento, playing like at a minor league ballpark until their ballpark's ready. It's kind of cool to watch, though. It's like playing over in CHS Field or something. So, they won. It was nice.
This one says, I like this new post-knee Fruity Rosie, putting these KFAN personalities in their place with their childish eating habits and dropping truth bombs about J.J. McCarthy, even though his wife works there. What's next? Wearing an actual white shirt to a Timberwolves whiteout game? Will you do that?
I don't. Yeah, I got negative. I got reaction to that, didn't I? Because I didn't wear a white shirt.
Well, why wouldn't you? I wouldn't be part of the fun.
I forgot about it.
No, you didn't. You just you wanted to stand out in a crowd.
I never standing out. Gosh, people remember these things.
Well, here's something they remember.
What's that?
What does Rosie think of Bo Nix now? He was glad we drafted 9 instead of Nix. What do you think now? You wanted him instead of Nix.
I don't remember the conversation, but I wasn't opposed to drafting J.J. McCarthy. I think a lot of people thought he was probably the right guy. This is the quirkiness. I mean,
I was.
The emailer probably liked Trey Lance a lot. I mean, he was probably like, hey, man, North Dakota kid, he's going to be great in the NFL. Well, how'd that work out? I mean, you don't know. It's a crapshoot with a lot of these players. And for the most part, that class worked out quite well, with the exception of number 9. right now. And it doesn't look like right at the moment it's going to get a whole lot better. I really expected him to see some tangible.
Do you think he'll be released?
No. Okay. No, it should be stupid to release him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got to remember, he's on a rookie contract. It doesn't really. And you're not going to trade him. You're not going to get anything for him.
49ers released Trey Lance.
Well, they could. I mean, this is not the time to do it. I mean, again, it's not costing him very much money to have him on. You need a third quarterback.
What about Max Brosmer?
You need a third quarterback.
He looked pretty sharp in preseason.
No, he didn't.
I thought he did.
When? Last week?
Yes.
What game were you watching? I mean, nobody looked sharp. I'm not blaming Max Brosmer, but
he looked good.
No, I don't think he's going to make the team.
Speaking of people that remember things, I saw this 2 years ago. Rosen raved about how good JJ looked in a preseason game against the Raiders. Now preseason doesn't matter. Funny. No. So you raved about his performance in preseason 2 years ago, and now preseason doesn't matter.
It's the same thing. You can look good in a preseason game. It just doesn't have any carryover effect. I remember the Raiders game. And it's like, Gino Toretta looked great for the Vikings, I don't know how many years ago, Heisman Trophy winner in preseason. And there are guys that have those kind of impact and under the radar free agents that, make their mark in special teams and end up getting a job because they make a couple of great tackles and they're sticking their nose in there. I mean, there's some guys that are, I can look, the Demings character, the 5th round draft pick from Stephen F. Austin.
I like him.
Now, can he make this team on special teams? I don't know. I mean, he's probably definitely a bubble guy right now when you look at the 53-man roster. And then you get the practice squad, and that's the beauty of having the practice squad. And you know that everyone's phone, I mean, Teasley's got his radar out already, and when other teams make cuts, you're going to be going, wait a minute, I know that player really well. I like that player better than the guy we got on our team. It's nerve-wracking for these young players in particular. Again, if you ever watch HBO's
Hard Knocks,
I mean, you see it's very stressful. I mean, you're trying to fulfill a lifelong dream and making an NFL team, and comes down to the last weekend and the last game. So I'm not minimizing the opportunity that some of these young players have on Friday night. That could be, but I think for the most part, I think the Vikings have pretty much made up their mind who they're going with. And again, that's not to say that once the cuts are made on Saturday that they've already every day it seems like the Vikings pick up another defensive back, which is an area of concern. I think continues to be for the depth of this team. That they got their radar. Everybody's got their favorites, and Teasley definitely has his favorites out there. And he's the GM. He should have the final say when it comes to a lot of these pickups that they're going to, or releases that they're going to have over the weekend.
Meanwhile,
yes, sir.
Kid we had in our backyard, the Greek kid, did you see him carve up the kiddies on?
I heard that he had, I didn't see the stats.
He was 16 for 19 for 162 yards. All he does is complete passes.
He didn't play for?
He plays for Washington.
Oh, okay.
We didn't need him here. He was in our backyard.
Wow. I'm sure it meant a lot to facing the kiddies, third stringers, but good for him.
Well, better to go 16 for 19
100%.
than to go 6 for 19.
I couldn't agree with you more. He's got a howitzer for an arm. He can throw it. He can sling it.
You loved him.
I did for a while.
You should be critical of the Vikings for not drafting him.
I'm not going to be critical of the Vikings for. Again, he's a backup. Is he going to challenge Jaden Daniels for the job in Washington? No, but he might
He's
make
one
the
injury
team.
away. He's one hamstring pull away.
See the backup? I don't even know. I don't exactly look at Washington's depth chart. But good for him. Drake Lindsay will probably he'll be drafted.
I think Demings is more than a special teams guy. I think he's going to be a top 3 or 4 corner for us. I think we don't have a choice.
He's an athletic guy. I mean, he's definitely.
I don't think they have a choice, do they? Who else are they going to play back?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They end up looking at other players and they pick someone up, I think, today. This is what happens because every team's got their radar out. They know what players are out there. And so I would not be surprised, the Vikings among pretty much all those teams are going to be looking at cut downs and then picking up players that are going to be, because remember, it used to be more of a gradual thing. They'd cut down to how many players and they'd have one other cut, then they have the final one. Now it's just one fell swoop for the most part. You got a player being cut here and there, and the Vikings have already done that. But maybe one or two players that have been released, but for the most part, that's all going to happen this weekend.
Now Rosie's taking a shot at the Greek kid. The new Rosie with the new knee has an attitude. You got an attitude now.
I'm taking a shot at the Greek
shots
kid.
At everybody. You basically laughed and guffawed at his performance.
Opa.
But then there's this. Rosen, I still love you. Don't listen to the Richards out there. Oh. The people that are trying to tear you down and bring you down.
Listen, it's just...
You're used to it.
The clock is ticking here. I don't...
Think about it.
It doesn't really matter to me. People are tearing me down. I think it's a compliment.
When are you done?
I can't say.
But it's not long, is it?
I can't say. You'll get 24 hours notice. That's what I'm saying.
Wow, I'd hope a little more than that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Tell me
I'm not going anywhere.
He's just announced his retirement from radio.
I'm not.
Sounds like he just put in his 2 weeks.
No, 2 weeks. No, I got the fair. No, I'm not going anywhere. We got a long, fruitful season and a Super Bowl to be won, so I'm not going anywhere.
Question, how many years have you been in radio?
Almost as many as TV.
I started...
86, 85.
Well, I started KQ in 86, but I did some work at WCCO Light. Wasn't that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was working weekends at Channel 4, I did like sports updates. I don't know. I wouldn't really officially call that working at but I was doing cut-ins over there for a little while. I don't know.
So you don't know the year? Okay.
I don't know. Mid-'80s, something like that.
Because people of your ilk, you like to wait till a nice round number so you can tell everyone, I was in radio for 50 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's when you'll retire.
Maybe that will be it. We'll see.
Yeah. I got an idea. I'm sure you're pushing me out the door.
No, not a chance. We love you. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more Mark Rosen, Common and Tennessee here on The Fan.
You're listening to The Common Man with...
Last segment of the Grum today. I'm Comedy's Tennessee, Mark Rosen here. One more text message before we talk about some other things. This explains the new Mark Rosen. This one says, makes sense now. It's common to have post-surgical depression where you have sadness, loss of interest in activities and irritability. Seek a healthcare provider for further evaluation. Do you have post-surgical depression?
You're talking about me?
Yes.
Oh, no.
You have post-surgical depression.
No. I mean, listen, it's a mental battle. I think anyone goes through stuff like, the first couple of weeks, but I'm very optimistic. Because again, I mean, people have elective surgery. Obviously, I didn't have to get this done. I mean, it was not comfortable. It was painful. It was bone on bone, but it's not like, man, your kidneys are failing. You got to do something. You need a kidney I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong with our bodies. And when the doctor just kind of tells you what you have. So if we know, I had a nice chat with Dave Winfield yesterday for my podcast, and we were talking about we were literally born 1 month apart. He was born in the day.
Is he older than you or younger?
He's older than me. He was born in the day the shot heard around the world with Bobby Thompson's home run.
All right.
And we were talking about health things and just
give a ding for Bobby Thompson.
Yeah. Thanks. And Ralph Franca.
Okay,
gave up the home run. But anyway, I mean, Dave's the same age, and so he's going through some stuff. He's had some early warning signs with prostate cancer, and he's in a position because of his voice. He's written a new book. He's coming to town next month. We had a wonderful chat about all sorts of things. His book is, I just zipped through it. Anyway, I don't know what we're getting to about health in general. And he kind of chuckled about it. But he's a very optimistic guy, and he's a guy I like to talk to and listen to because I'm inspired more than anything else.
Right.
No, I'm not.
I thought this was the right diagnosis. It sounded like you had post-surgical depression.
Not at all. I had a great PT session today.
You're very irritable today.
I'm not irritable. I'm just irritable about some of the subjects you're talking about.
Well, here's a text message. So is Rosen reporting that the framework of his retirement deal is in place? After all, he doesn't want to get scooped on his own story. He doesn't want Adam Schefter reporting it before him. He has to break it just like he supposedly did the Favre to the Vikings news. Okay, Larry Mondello guy.
Yeah, well, Larry Mondello guy.
They call Larry Mondello guy. He is,
Isn't he busy trying to write me some fresh material?
I think he would.
No.
Think about these people.
There's a guy I'm really going to miss.
Think about Larry Mondello guy.
The characters I've met through you are something that I could write a book about.
I'm sorry.
He's, and one of them I'll see starting Thursday. Mouth guitar guy again.
Yes,
State Fair. I'm glad he's back. I'm very happy he'll be out there. It wouldn't be the same without him. to close your show every single day at 3 o'clock, and so I look forward to that.
Lynx had an opportunity to clinch last night. They lost in front of 16,001. It would have been 16,002 had you been there. You were not there, right?
I was not there, no.
They lose 80-66 to Golden State. They get run out of their own gym with a chance to clinch.
Yeah,
do we think this team maybe doesn't have what it takes, that the pressure's too much for them to clinch?
They're missing one of their best players. Wasn't Courtney Williams out last night?
Courtney Williams was out with a midfoot sprain.
Yeah, I mean, they've been through the rigors lately. I mean, it's a tough road trip, and they've won how many games? They're 31-7. No, I think they're. All right. I think it's just kind of you hit the wall a little bit mentally. I don't know how you. And that's a good team they played, and they're getting tired of getting pushed and kicked around by the Lynx. And so I think come playoff time, Cheryl will have this team firing on all cylinders. I'm not saying it's the dog days of the season for them, but it kind of is. I mean, a little bit, knowing their positioning.
Well, and the Valkyries probably didn't want to have them clinch against them, so they were like, let's take a stand here.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened. They've lost, they had that bad defensive game when Cheryl ripped them up a little bit, mentally for how they weren't playing defense, but it's a little different than last night. And it's got to be, just after they just lost to a good team last night. End of story. Move on to the next one.
That, Reeves describes the injury as day-to-day.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Also says that Golden State picked up their first victory over the Lynx.
Right.
In 10 tries.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're getting sick and tired of getting knocked around.
They're 26-11, though. That's a nice record.
Yeah,
and aren't they, is this like third year in the league? Third, fourth, whatever it is?
Yeah, I think the longest. It seems like they've just got in the league last year, but, these things go by so fast, you kind of lose track of when the team starts and doesn't. There's so many expansion teams.
When does the Gopher football season start? Is that
during
Labor
the
Day week?
Fair? No, it's always a Thursday night game, isn't it, Tina? Yeah. Week from Thursday? Or Friday? Thursday or Friday?
So it's a week from this Thursday.
They're like 43-point favorites.
Who do we have in that first one?
Eastern Michigan or something?
Eastern Illinois,
Illinois.
The Thursday, September 3rd.
Yeah, it's always, and Fleck talked about that. It's kind of the traditional state fair game, and, they've had better opponents to open up against, but, they don't have to excuse it, make an excuse for it.
Everybody does it.
They all do it. It's a money-making thing for the
Some
opponent.
do it more than others. I think like your Alabamas and your Ohio States do one of the three. Is a cream puff, but
getting to
most of the other teams, I think, kind of do it. They want to pad the record because it's that bowl eligibility. So if you get 3 wins right out of the gate, you're halfway there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then even then you could get the academic thing.
Yeah.
But they get the Mississippi State's got a pretty good team. I think they got them at home. It's probably the only real cupcake, if you want to call it that they have in their schedule. I think Akron is probably not that good either, but then it happens in a hurry. And next thing you know, they're starting their Big Ten schedule. So. Yeah, we always talk about them when we go during the fair, and you go, I don't know what you don't really have anything to go on other than the fact that they like their quarterback and they got to keep their running back healthy. That's the one thing. Talking about Ron Johnson, Ron talked about that. I think it was just off the air the other day when we were talking about the Gophers. He says got to keep Darius healthy. I mean, you can't beat him up against especially some of these other teams. He's a guy that can get nicked up. You can't run him 30 times a game. He's just not kind of built that way, and you got to, use him as you need. But more importantly, he's not a 30 rush a game kind of guy. He's just going to get nicked up, and I don't know how much depth they have behind him in the backfield.
Rand Ball today, Michael Rand, talks extensively about the Gophers with a piece that says Gophers can't match college football's biggest spenders.
Right. What
counts as success now. And as he points out, generally speaking, the Gophers are, he says, a typical year finds Minnesota around 500 in the Big Ten and winning a decent bowl game. And that is sort of, it seems like what happens. They win those 3 cream puff games usually, and then they become bowl eligible. But as he says, that's fine, but it doesn't move the needle very much. And it doesn't. I think it is what it is, and until even with an influx of nil money, if they were ever to get that, if they were ever to get some alumni or somebody with deeper pockets, like you have with Indiana, where you have the the old Mavericks owner's name?
Cuban,
where you have somebody, or is it the night guy from Nike, Nike, right? I mean, when they just
Oregon's got plenty of money.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to see that here in Minnesota. We haven't yet, so I don't know why it would happen anytime soon. And that it does become the issue, and I've said this over and over. What haven't I said over and over again? But for me to get excited about college football, it's harder because I always feel like, well, in this town, our major college football team, the Gophers, they're always just going to be kind of, we had that one year where we, with the final AP poll, we were number 10.
Yeah, I think 10.
We had finished 10-2. We had a nice bowl win, and things were looking up, but then it didn't really, that momentum didn't lead anywhere, like taking a next step. So it's always hard for me to even get excited about. I mean, I've spent most of my time now watching Nebraska and the Ohio State because my boys go to school there, especially Nebraska because they are also, they're a legendary football school, but that's a few years behind them now, obviously. And to kind of watch, they were almost Lions-like. Deuce and I would text back and forth during games. They would lose these heartbreaking games. They would have leads and lose them in the second half, and all these crazy ways to lose games. And these were against ranked teams that they were giving as much as they were taking, but they always found a way to lose. And so you just kind of look at the Gophers, and it's hard for me to get really pumped up about Gopher. I guess the rivalry games are about as all you. Though I guess that's in Randball mentions that in the piece today about, well, you want to, he's got a quote from somebody, or maybe it's just his thought. You want to win the rivalry games. Those are always important. But at the end of the day, so you got a jug or an axe. That's great. But I think people would like to see, and that's where I guess you hope that 12-team playoff, which is it going to 16 this year? Tenby, do you remember?
I thought it was still a 12 this year.
Is it still 12 this year?
They're talking about it going to like 24.
Yeah. I don't know if that's happening yet because I'm not paying as close attention to college football as I once did. That would be the only hope to at least get into that. And that would be a goal. Hey, we made it to the playoffs. Now, what are the chances of beating the Oregons? And
it's still at 12, but they've had talks of 20, going to 24.
I think that with the Gophers, Common, you're right. You have to win the games that, when the point spreads come out, I don't want to concentrate on that, but when you're playing Iowa, you're playing Wisconsin, you're playing Michigan. Well, Michigan's down a little bit, but you're still going to be underdogs against them. But the game Nebraska, these are the games you have to find a way to win. I mean, it's just, and sometimes there's little things that happen, whether it's coaching, whether it's a defensive lapse, a fumble, whatever it might be, where you go, man, you just blew an opportunity to win that game. You should have won that game. And those are the should have won that game is the ones that I think come back to bite the Gophers. The difference between going to the Meineke Bowl and getting a bigger bowl game is, not losing to Oregon, not losing to Ohio State. It's losing to those other teams when, on occasion where it just prevents them from kind of getting over the top or getting fans really excited about the team. Not that they're going to go Indiana on it. They're not. But, it's just to have a breakthrough couple of wins. And that's the difference between people being really excited about this team and just going, okay, it's another Saturday. I'll put my maroon and gold on and hope for the best. That's all you can do.
Somebody just texted and says, be honest, the Gophers have surpassed the Cornhuskers. Well, they may have. That wasn't my point. It was my boy went to Nebraska. And he's rooting for him. He's at games. It's his alma mater. He's realistic about it, too. But what I'm saying is that was the connection between, I wasn't saying Nebraska was better than the Gophers. I was saying that was just my interest level. Here, I don't know anybody with the Gophers. I don't go to the college. My kids don't. I know it's the hometown college.
Right.
And so I'm always curious to what they're going to do. But there's never any payoff. There really hasn't ever been since.
I think it's all Gopher coaches have faced this, but, again, they're opening up during the fair on a Thursday night against an also-ran team. But when the Vikings, you get the yeoman's coverage of football. I mean, they're king of the hill. We all know that. This is not a college football town like it is in the SEC, where you don't have a pro team for the most part that you're competing against. The lion's share of the fan interest, the lion's share of the media coverage is always going to be about the Minnesota Vikings. And that's just a fact of life. And PJ can use that to his advantage, but you got to win some games that you're not supposed to win. I mean, to have a really good crowd on a Saturday afternoon, maybe the same weekend that the Vikings are playing at home, against a division opponent is a glorious weekend for football fans. If you have opportunity to maybe go to both games or at least watch both of them, it doesn't get much better than that if you're a football fan. And that doesn't happen in many Big Ten cities. There's very few Big Ten cities that have anywhere near pro football around them. So, they got to find a way of capitalizing on it, is what I'm saying.
If you'll remember, sorry, pardon me, allergies. If you'll remember, much of the discussion was it's hard to be a real college football town, Big Ten town, if you're in a dome stadium. It's just antiseptic, blah, blah, blah. We need to be on campus, and we have to have an outdoor stadium. You're on campus and you have an outdoor stadium, hasn't changed that much. It sounded good that was going to be a big recruiting plus, and that was going to, and has it helped some? Maybe a little, but it certainly hasn't made a grand turnaround where it's because you know what? There are outdoor stadiums all across the country, and there's on-campus stadiums all across the country. You're just one of another now, and so it still comes down to the most highly recruited players are still going to the helmet schools, and that's that chicken or egg. How do you become a helmet school and attract those players until you attract those players and win a bunch of football games? It's a hard.
Well, I mean, getting
hard nut to crack.
They always talk about locking up the borders, and they do have this Roman Voss kid who's on right now, but it's a year by year thing. You're signing a 1-year contract, as we've seen for these college kids. You're not signing. This isn't even like a J.J. McCarthy. Oh, McCarthy signed a rookie contract with the Vikings. He's here for 3-4 years, whatever it is. Roman Voss isn't necessarily going to be here for 3 or 4 years. He could have a hell of a freshman year if he's playing tight end or whatever position he's playing. We saw that with Coy Parrish, and Parrish fell off last year in terms of his first year with the Gophers, and then he left for Oregon because they're paying him a whole lot more money. So that's the other problem, is that you're literally signing a 1-year deal with these players, and then you got to start all over again. And that's the game that's being played right now. And like it or not, it ain't going anywhere at the moment.
What do you think of this one? We're set up for a 2019 type season in Dinkytown this fall, me boys. Our defense is big time, and we have a stud QB. See you in Pasadena. Row the boat.
Hey.
Sky Yuma, go Gopher, sign Rose Bowl guy. What do you think? Do you think it's possible that we're set up for a banner season?
Some team will maybe rise up and have that kind of a season.
Do you think it's the Minnesota Golden Gophers?
I have no idea. I have my doubts. I know they have the best defensive player, probably in the Big Ten. They got a really good quarterback if he can, stay upright and they give him the protection he needs. We got some good wide receivers, but you
like this club, I think.
Well, I like to watch. I do like to watch Drake Lindsey. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. He's a big, strong arm kid, and I think he's going to take a big leap this year from what he learned a year ago, and the fact that the Gophers locked him up, and I think he's definitely going to be here for his collegiate career. Is a good thing. Now he's got to go out there and do it against some very good competition.
He'll win the Heisman and leave early.
Yeah, that'd be a nice problem.
It would. It'd be a terrible problem. We lose the Heisman Trophy winner.
You win the Heisman Trophy, the Gophers are in a really good bowl game.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything for long term.
No, okay.
I'm talking long term.
We don't can't think that. I can't think that. As they say, I don't even buy green bananas anymore. I just
Tennessee. He thinks you can't. He just thinks. Speaking of bananas,
what?
He thinks you can't sample grapes. Do you ever sample a grape at Kawagi's? Like if you're going to buy some, do you take one?
Oh, sure. I have. I'm not. I don't.
Tennessee thinks you should be arrested.
I haven't. I don't do it on a regular basis.
Tennessee thinks you should be
against the law.
Yeah.
He thinks you should be taken to jail.
I don't do it often.
Mug-shotted.
That's an interesting. Well, I think it's. Well, they're set up kind of
shoplifter.
Yeah,
shoplifter. I've done it. Okay, I've done it maybe 3 or 4 times.
It's getting less and less as we move along here.
Yeah, I take a grape.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
But plus, you want to make sure they're sweet.
That's exactly right.
You can't.
Have you ever bought a carton of strawberries and get them home and they're just awful and you just wasted whatever it is for?
Yes.
Look at Alec Lewis and you were doing some insiding in there.
He's in here early.
You were talking about power struggles inside. Was it?
He is early.
European soccer, or what was it?
Can you hear me? We can hear you.
Come on, I don't know how to work the microphone.
There was some power. You were. I'm not going to blow your cover completely.
Yeah,
but
please don't reveal my sources.
But you were talking to a source, and his voice was kind of garbled like that.
Oh boy,
it was some high level. I mean, we were talking some high level stuff.
You were talking about power struggles in some front office somewhere. I think.
Wasn't the 49ers, was it?
No, not the 49ers. No, I'm not. Jed York and I were on the phone.
Oh boy.
But yeah, look. You talk to whoever you can.
Right.
If they answer the phone, you start talking to them.
Whoever's available.
Well, can I have Alec react to a tweet I just saw from one of his colleagues?
This could be scary.
Kevin Seifert tweeted, in a relatively brief Vikings practice, 80 minutes today, J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz split second-team reps.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't have much of a reaction. I'm not that surprised, is what I would say.
Yeah. Wentz is going to be the backup quarterback, right? I mean, if in the first game of the season, Kyler Murray goes out with an injury, serious or non-serious, just out, Wentz is going in the game, right?
Let me just pose to you guys a question. This team wants to win in 2026. They want to win as many games as they can. If Kyler Murray gets hurt, who would you, if your job was on the line, trust more?
Max Brosmer.
Carson Wentz.
That's just the
the story.
That's just the answer. I mean,
I don't. It's just having to have that discussion. Like I said with Common, I mean, they're not having these discussions in Detroit or Green Bay or Chicago. It's just like, who's the backup? I'm not saying I don't care, but if that's the point we're at, this team is probably not going to go very far anyway. I mean,
not according to PA. PA had stated earlier that if Carson Wentz started the first 6 games, we'd be 5-1.
But no, Carson passes the eye test. I mean, there's no doubt.
He said, "What do you think of that?
I know.
Do you think if Carson Wentz started the first 5 games, the Vikings would be 5-1?"
I mean, that's pretty lofty. Like, I think there's a dissonance between Carson Wentz would be your preferred option behind Kyler Murray and Carson Wentz is an elite quarterback. Like, there is a
big difference.
There's a juxtaposition in those two worlds. But yeah, I mean, Tina, to answer the question, like I did my roster projection today, and Carson was the second name listed. That's just kind of
the way it's going to be.
Is a juxtaposition on defense or offense?
Very good stuff.
You learned that at